Greetings. My name is Lauren. It is a joy to introduce to you my friend, Dr. Jabbour, a distinguished professor with a doctorate in Islamics. I invited him to read to you passages from his book, Unshackled and Growing. A PDF version of the entire book in English is available to you for free on the website friendshippathways.com. You may also access past episodes there. I present to you the episode, The Right Way to Exercise.
The right way to exercise. Before you start exercising your spiritual muscles, be aware that there are wrong ways to acknowledge Christ. One wrong way is to start speaking out right away with self-righteousness and pride, attacking the religion of those you are speaking with. Without a transformed life, evidence of what Christ has done in you, preaching at people turns them into enemies. Early on, I did this with some people, and I regret it to this day. Another wrong way is for you to decide to become a silent, secret believer, motivated by fear rather than by courage, wisdom, and love. The devil can choke you through your fears. The right way to acknowledge Christ is to exercise courage and boldness, yet with humility and love. Ask God to transform your life daily. Clean the channels in your relationships so that the love of Jesus flows through them. What does that mean? Think of your family. Do they see you as a humble, loving person who has a servant heart? Do they think of you as a peacemaker in the family? Or do they see you as a self-righteous, religious freak who committed high treason by abandoning your family and your culture? Do they see in your life Christ or ugly wrappings around Christ? How have you been doing, my friend? Jesus considers you his ambassador. Have you been embarrassed to acknowledge your allegiance to your king? Or have you been too contentious and argumentative in your attempts to draw others to Jesus? After this episode, spend a few minutes thinking about these questions and asking God what corrections need to be made. Next, parental care. When a family friend comes over to visit, he may enjoy playing with the young toddler in the home. But once the guest smells that the child needs a clean diaper, he sends him back to his parents. It is as if the friend is saying, I love you as long as you are clean, but once you get messy, I am done with you. Have you ever had this feeling? Are there people in your life who love you as long as you live in victory and your life in Christ is attractive? Do you feel like they push you away when you mess up and embarrass them? To the followers of Christ in Corinth, the Apostle Paul wrote in 1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 15, even though you have 10,000 guardians in Christ, you do not have many fathers. For in Christ Jesus I became your father through the gospel. We might have many teachers and guardians who contribute to our spiritual lives, but fathers and mothers are rare. Parental care requires a great deal of love and involves a special relationship. Paul described his relationship with the Thessalonians in 1 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verses 7 and 8 and in verses 11 and 12. He wrote, "We were gentle among you like a mother, caring for her little children. We loved you so much that we were delighted to share with you not only the gospel of God, but our lives as well, because you had become so dear to us. For you know that we dealt with each of you as a father deals with his own children, encouraging, comforting, and urging you to live lives worthy of God, who calls you into his kingdom and glory." Think about the relationships you have made on your journey with Christ. Who have been your teachers and guardians? Have you ever expressed your gratitude to them for the way they helped you? Have you had the benefit of spiritual fathers or mothers who stuck with you even when you messed up? Have you had the blessing of having others pour out their lives for you at critical times in your journey with Christ? Have you been teachable to them, or have you resisted? In the book of Acts, we read about Paul's journey with Christ and his lonely times. Because Paul was once a militant Jew and a persecutor of the Christians, when he came to Jerusalem, the followers of Christ there were afraid of him. But among them was a man with a father's heart named Barnabas, who listened to Paul's story in great detail and believed in him. Barnabas went to the leaders of the church in Jerusalem and convinced them that Paul had become a new man, an authentic servant of Christ. Because Barnabas believed in Paul, the church leaders in Jerusalem started believing in him too. Then Paul went to his hometown of Tarsus, where he was alone for some time. There God himself cared for him and nurtured him. Barnabas later came back into his life, recruiting him to come to Antioch, and together they ministered to young believers in a church in Antioch. On their first mission trip together, Barnabas allowed Paul to become the leader of the team, although Barnabas was older in the faith. Barnabas, who had been the leader, was willing to become the follower of someone younger in the faith and in experience. Paul later became a spiritual parent to many young followers of Christ, including a young man named Timothy. When you read Paul's letters to Timothy in the New Testament, you sense the kind of heart Paul had for him. My friend, if you do not have a mentor, ask God to provide you with one, the right one. It's better to have no mentor at all than have the wrong one. This mentor could be the one who helped you in your encounter with Christ, or it might be someone else who shares your vision, someone willing to adopt you and stand with you through thick and thin. Be teachable to this mentor and be transparent with him or with her. If there's no one like this locally, find someone you admire who could mentor you long distance through email, phone calls, Zoom, or periodic visits. Now consider the reverse picture. Has God given you a special relationship with a younger follower of Christ, but you did not carry the responsibility of caring for that person like you should have? It's never too late. Find someone to whom you can pass on all that you are learning, but be prepared to stick by them, messes and all. This is what spiritual parent does.